I absolutely love The Woman in the Window. I was going to watch this anyway because I'm a big fan of Amy Adams and Julianne Moore, both of whom are in this, and also because the narrative sounded incredible. But when I realised that I was getting a lot of negative reviews, I was exceptionally interested to watch it straight away. And I loved it. Now, I'm not going to give any spoilers. This is a drama, mystery. There's a lot that I could spoil, so I won't spoil anything. But I will say, there are two reasons why I think it's getting a lot of negative reception. The first is that a lot of people love the book. The book is written by A.J. Finn. I haven't read it. Maybe I will. And the other thing is that a lot of people are comparing it to Rear Window, which is fair enough, but also it's also not fair to say that this film is basically like copying a lot of the aspects of Rear Window, because this is based on the book. So if anything, the book did. But I don't have a problem with any of this. This was released this year, directed by Joe Wright. The screenplay is by Tracy, and it stars, as I said, Amy Adams and Julianne Moore, as well as Gary Oldman. And this is about a woman with agoraphobia in New York, and she spies on her neighbours and witnesses something. And then people begin to tell her that that didn't happen, and what she witnessed wasn't true, and it didn't happen at all. And a lot of it is her trying to prove that this happened, and also a lot of people doubting her because she's on a lot of medication, of course, for her agoraphobia and the anxiety that comes with that, and she's drinking. So it's very quick for people to point the finger and say, well, you're drinking on meds, we can't really trust you. And the bulk of the film is trying to make up an opinion about whether or not you think this happened, or is she crazy, or what went on. And there are twists in this, absolutely. Twists that I most certainly did not see coming. And I think it's brilliant. I'll discuss the ending in a moment, but I won't say what happened. So I'll try and give my opinion on the conclusion without actually saying what happened. But if you don't want to know my opinion on the ending, then I will give you warning. Amy Adams' performance is absolutely fantastic, and I hope she gets nominated for as many accolades as possible. I thought she was moving, emotive, powerful, striking, captivating, really captured the behaviour of a woman with a mental illness. This is a subject very close to my heart, not just agoraphobia, although I am becoming increasingly interested in agoraphobia, but just mental health in films in general, is particularly in women, is something that I am very passionate about. And her portrayal for me was excellent. There wasn't anything in this that I would have done differently. There may be things that were not done in the book, or things that were done in the book that should have been kept in the film. I would be very interested to know, if you've read the book, how it differs, if you can kind of explain that without giving any spoilers. Maybe I should just read the book. But in terms of the development of the narrative, I think it worked very well. We got enough tidbits of information at the right times. The pacing was very good. Characters were introduced at the right rate. Twists appeared very well. It's not an abundance of twists. It's not every second scene has a twist in it. We get enough time to get used to one and to get comfortable with it until it rips the rug from under our feet and everything we know is spiralling and being heavily questioned. I also have to say, just as a complete aside, Brayson Tyree Henry as Detective Little, I loved his behaviour and his attitude throughout this. Particularly the way he speaks to Detective Norelli. I think his attitude is exactly what it should have been. By which I mean caring and compassionate, but open-minded. And I completely praise the writing behind that character. Assuming the character's the same in the book, I thought he was done spot on and exactly what I would have wanted from that character. So, the ending. I won't say what happened, but the actual ending, like the last scene, once everything had kind of wrapped itself up and we knew what was happening, the last scene I thought was really flat and really just didn't need to be there. I can understand why it was there, but it wasn't powerful, it wasn't motivating, It wasn't moving. I just think that the final scene, it should have ended the scene before. With the actual, the reveal of everything, I'm glad in one respect, but in the other, I'm not. And it's very hard for me to say this without giving any spoilers. Basically, what happened is not what I would have expected. I had no idea that was going to happen. That's not something that I would have wanted to happen. If you'd put on paper, said this is how this is going to end, I would have said, no, let's change that. Let's not make that the case. But at the same time, the final scene, I guess, well, the penultimate scene itself, I thought was very good. The scene that came before that, I thought was very powerful and quite shocking, very intense. Great music, some brilliant close-ups. The use of, I can't say that without spoiling it. The atmosphere, I'll say the atmosphere was very effective, and I liked that a lot. Yeah, for me the ending was pretty decent. Not as I would have expected, not what I would have written myself, but the overarching ending, for me, left me satisfied. With tears in my eyes, and I rarely, not with this kind of film. I don't understand the negativity surrounding the woman in the window. Maybe too many people are comparing it to Rear Window. Maybe people have read the book, and perhaps understandably the book is better. I find that books usually are better, but the acting here is phenomenal. The narrative is very engaging, it's very gripping, it's very unpredictable. The casting, obviously fantastic, very atmospheric, very moving, very surprising, and very much a film that I think you need to watch.